All right, I'm live. Said I'm live. Hi, this is Alan. I'm at TI, and it was kind of a weird title because it was big in 2019. I think in 2017 it started. A lot of people started getting it in 2016, but why there was a 6-7 year window. Well, after the 2011-2012 White House bioethics being experimented on, and so it's just experimenting with different implantable technologies, pacemakers, torture devices.
But honestly, it's too little too late. Has been 8 million illegals already in the country just on Joe Biden's watch. And right now, and they're all here spread out across the country. He wants to do something meaningful. Maybe he admires this would announce a plan to start deporting people. Crazy idea, I know, but they're not talking about that. Today, Joe Biden didn't want to take credit for his embarrassing.
Sorry. Torture devices, and I know for me it's over 36 years, and I didn't know. I just knew I had a pain, chronic right here. I was thankful that my doctors gave me pain meds or sent me to specialists, but you would just pray, Lord, just tell me what it is, healed it, I never thought I was part of an experiment. I thought the people in my town were good people and drain the swamp. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't be part of something like that, And not for torture. And then you find out the truth. And then the 2019, the rallies, at least Mark and Target Individuals United in London. Japan's got a group, France, Madrid, but this is mainly, again, how many of those are, all I know, I did put a report in the smaller town, Dallas, and the person I talked to on the phone, he was nice and waited about just an hour and a half. I mean, it was nice. He called me and was polite, gave me time to talk. And literally gave me about a good 10-15 minutes to talk, and was decent. And it was like a page on front page and back page, my report about Havana Syndrome, how the CIA guy said it's not a foreign government doing it to our people, and that's being done on regular people, experimented on. And he was nice, the officer, whoever, but it's just, I don't know. That, in 2019, explaining that to him also, and leaving that there, and that was saying that they were doing this to people, and that was in November, and that was a few weeks or months, like November of 2019, before the pandemic. And you just don't think Dallas or Salem, a very conservative religious town, would be part of something like that, Because if it turned out bad, like the person's still alive and finds out about it, and the people go in on it, taking money for something like while they're chanting "drain the swamp," There's nothing in Washington, D.C. or in any movie that compares with taking a 13-year-old or a young person while they're having their worst day in an operating room, breaking an arm or a leg, and putting something in the body of that person purely for the sake of seeing a prolonged torture experiment, to see, by hitting the heart with slow electrical discharge like a battery or whatever, just continuously hitting the heart to where it doesn't stop. It's just constantly, just to see the effects of radiation slow kill on the body. And to spend 30 years, to make it painful, because it's hitting around this side, it's hard to feel your emotions. And that's what it's for, to see the effects of not merely being able to feel your main emotions, because it's hitting right like where you put your hand on your heart during, extreme love, fear, anger. You can still feel some, but not much, because it's hitting right here, and it's done on purpose for that reason. And maybe life insurance, which I do not want anyone to get profit off of this. I don't want anybody in Dallas or Salem. When I was in the hospital and I had to learn how to walk again because of this experiment, falling out of a window, I didn't know what it was, and so I did a DNR, whatever, the paperwork about, and I didn't know what I was a part of or who was doing this. I didn't know I was a part of an experiment. I'm saying this in 2023, October 5th, 2023, that I want no one to get money from this. Nobody. Not in Dallas, Salem, scientists. I do not want my life to be used for experimentation, whether while I'm alive or whether when I'm dead. I don't want my brain, my heart, my imprints, my DNA. I don't want any of it to be used for any purposes now while I'm alive or when I'm dead. I do not want anybody to have any use of it. Period. I don't want anybody to get money off of my torture. Ever. I want it to stop today, now, and if I do pass from whatever, any reason, I don't want anybody to profit off it. It's that simple. Anybody who says, or if there's a hidden life insurance, I want it to be null and void. This is Alan Brewer Nielsen, October 5th, 2023. 2023. So, and that they would go and do something and cover it up. And there's no reason. I never hurt anybody. They did this to me when I was about ready to go into Bible college ministry. But I wasn't a raving fanatic. I had read a lot of books on apologetics and religion and humanism, but I never tried to promote or wild about converting everybody to this viewpoint or that viewpoint. It was just, yeah. I just wanted to study different people's viewpoints on things. Anyway. When you're a TI and you know that they have people that are also fake TIs, they get paid by the government, just like January 6th at the White House. The feds had people at the White House pretending to be MAGA people that helped help lead people into the White House to break the laws, to help arrest people, and they're trying to be the marching, the Pied Pipers to get people in trouble. Just like they do now, just like the Christmas tree bombing, just like Gretchen Whitmer's kidnapping. They use federal FBI people to, 3 or 4 people just to arrest 2 or 3. And then say, see, we're doing something important. We're stopping terrorism. And the terrorism is because of their influence, them starting up something, them riling up a group of people to do something that they on their own wouldn't have done. And they're still doing it, trying to justify their existence. That's why there's always this talk about FBI and getting rid of them, getting rid of the CIA, getting rid of the FBI. And because the local police, which I've never had a problem with any of them, anybody, feds, police, anybody, doctors, city hall. And I just knew I lived in pain and I didn't know why. Physical pain. And then to find out you're part of this, and it's not just you, there's other people, but I don't know how many because a lot of it's fake. So a lot of the people claiming this are part of groups, because in 2019, and then those groups 2 years later, after the during the pandemic after, and it's just like, we don't know how many real. But after the vaccine, who knows? So all I know is, and again, I hope Dallas does what I says, and in Salem too. Just, I'm not trying to get people's money by suing. I just want them to turn off the thing. Because once you've experienced it 9 or 10 times where they have the ability remotely just to turn it off and you can feel normal, and then 5 hours later they turn it back on, you can feel it within 5-10 seconds, just like, and it's like, oh, this really is remotely, and they can do it just like that, and if they choose not to, just to see, and they make this just to see if they can, and if they can get away with it, and get the people in City Hall and whatever hospitals to go along with it. So, hey, Home Slice, I'm sorry I didn't see you there. FBI was, yeah, it was a trap. They protect themselves, yes. Property blocking my thought, yeah. And the dream thing, I believe that is too. But so much of this technology is just so covertly like Havana Syndrome. Most of us haven't heard of it. Scalar waves and that kind of stuff, vibrations and things, Tesla stuff. So, thank you, Home Slice. And a lot of the Home Slice, you've probably seen it, where a lot of the stuff is just fusion centers that pretend to be, or just maybe neighbors that work along with it, that are part of it. I get kind of used to it though, but it was 2019 when it was huge and all these groups, and just 2 or 3 years later, and some of those groups are still around. Thank goodness, thank God for that. But it's just, you're wondering, okay, how, was it a short-term thing like Havana Syndrome for 5 years and they quit talking about it, and then suddenly when Havana Syndrome went away after 5 years, every night somebody else in the government being hit by it, then suddenly pandemic, and then Havana Syndrome goes away and the target individual it's just not getting the same, ruins neighbors' ideas from, yes, they remote view me. Neighbors might hold stingrays or something, not I don't know, CPU. So it's a mystery to me, but I'm glad there are some groups that are still doing it. PACs, Target, Massachusetts, Frank Allen, and Mark Williams in London, Target Individuals United in London, Target Justice, Icator. They had an outdoor thing in Brussels, so that was great. And I'm just glad anybody that gets the message out there, especially these outdoor things, which is great. Like Mark Williams did it in front of the BBC. I think that is wonderful. When Dr. Matt and Ella Free went to White House and Chicago and Washington D.C., just New York and all, it was in Portland. That's where I finally went. So it was great. Yeah, I know what you mean. Although I don't mind people hating, because I think for me, I never had a reason to think anybody would dislike me, or I just didn't have enemies. And that they did this to me. So to actually have an emotion, which they've been trying to kill off for all those years. And I didn't know if it was religious repression, but to know it was just them hitting my heart, or my side right here, with an impulse implantable medical device, and that's its main use, as Robert Duncan was talking about. So anyway, it's about 7:20, and I always got to make dinner for my mom's, their home slice. So I think you're doing something rather than hit their minds, call the cops, or you're thinking hurt. Yeah. So yeah, that's what happened. That they try to set up everybody for drama or trouble, and see, we weren't wrong. That person, even if it's 4 years later, they're still trying, and people's like, why won't they? This isn't a bad person. They're kind of like scratching their head, and it's like, when is this person gonna give up? It's like, no, I'm gonna let you guys embarrass yourself, lose your integrity, your character, everything you claimed you stood for. So anyway, home slice, I gotta go. I'm gonna go make my mom some dinner, okay? So I'll talk to you later, okay? And other TIs, I'll talk to you later, okay? Okay, bye. Bye, home slice. And people in the Fusion Center watching, so take care.